Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 13 of the F1 2005 mod career mode, and we're here today for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's really starting to get tight between myself and Kimi Räikkönen in the Drivers' Championship with just 3 rounds to go, including today. We are separated by just 1 point, but here we are then on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is 5 lights here and it's lights out and away we go. Finally there, Charlie Whiting once again waiting an absolute age, but we get a fantastic launch there. Both Renaults completely slowed down the Ferraris there, and we could make up 3 places by turn 1 there. But a couple of drivers tried to keep it up my inside throughout the first couple of corners there. Schumacher hooks it right the way up around my outside, but we do exactly the same as him through the center S there, and now up into P4 of the Grand Prix there off the start. So fantastic start for myself in this Grand Prix, but Schumacher tries to have a dive down the inside through the next corner there. Are we going to try and hold it up around the outside there? Fantastic drive for the Ferrari there, and well, Schumacher, he's not had a particularly good season there, but that will certainly give him a little bit of a confidence boost. He's no longer, though, unfortunately, within a shot of retaining his, well, Drivers' World Championship there. Unfortunately for him, cannot make it number 8, but really after such a rough season, it was going to be highly unlikely that he was going to be able to do so anyway there. But yeah, still all over the back of the Ferrari driver there as we come through Sector 2 of this Grand Prix there, and we've really had, you know, a good little string of circuits in recent races. Italy, Belgium and Brazil, you know, 3 of probably my top 6 favourite tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. Italy and Belgium being my top 2, and then Brazil, yeah, somewhere ranking in the top little group there. You know, fantastically good track. I think one that pretty much everyone is a fan of. You know, it's got a bit of everything, this Brazilian Grand Prix circuit. But yeah, we need to stop talking about the architecture of the Brazilian Grand Prix, because we have still got a championship to contest there. Kimi Räikkönen is up in P2 at this stage of the day there. I think Juan Pablo Montoya is still trying to lead the race, and well, he's still got the potential to really mount a championship challenge there. I think he's 11 points back, so he needs as many points as he possibly can through the next couple of rounds there. Mark Webber, though, is out of the Grand Prix and brings out a safety car in doing so there, which means we are going to try and play the risky strategy once more there. We're going to dive it into the pits on the end of lap 2 there. 16 laps on a set of the, well, dry tyres there is going to be one tall order, but we're going to try and risk it. Obviously, we need to as well get through the rest of the pack nice and quickly once the safety car does come back in as well there. But yeah, once again, playing the risky strategies, it's worked out so many times so far in this championship. You know, it's always nice, you know, take a bit of a risk. It's pretty much kept me in a shot of the Drivers' World Championship up to this point, so I think, you know, we've got to give the risky strategies some respect, you know, where it is well and truly deserved there. And now, as you can see, down in P19 there, no one else willing to gamble. It's so early on in this Grand Prix there. Christian Albers obviously just missed out on points last time out at the Belgian Grand Prix there. Is really, well, I don't think he's going to be able to score points in this race here today. But yeah, now on the end of lap 4, the safety car was not out for long, and now we are going to try and make sure that we can get back through the field nice and quickly here. This could be where the race is won and lost. The championship could be won and lost with how quickly we were able to get through the field there. But green flags are back out there. We do get a very good one, both myself and Albers, all over the back of Friesaka and Monteiro there as we come down towards turn 1. They're braking as late as we possibly can down the inside of 4 cars there, including my teammate Christian Klein there. He keeps the nose in through turn 2 there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact made between the pair of us there, but we do hold on around the outside through turn 3 there. Now we've really got to try and hope that Christian Klein, he's not really playing the team championship here. You know, we're really in a good shot of the Drivers' Championship there, and he's still, you know, thinking about trying to go for moves on me, which certainly is not ideal. I think our 74 points to his 2 this championship, you know, clearly solidifies myself as the #1 driver. That late move on Narain Carter Kane there as we come through in towards Sector 2 there, so we're able to make that move stick there. He tries to keep it up the inside, but much better drive through one of the hairpins there means we're now up into P14 of the Grand Prix there. So 5 positions made up on this, well, safety car. You know, once the safety car is back in the safety, well, what do we call it, the in lap, the out lap? I'm not really too sure there. The first lap, the safety car is not out on the circuit there, and now we're all over the back of Felipe Massa there in the Sauber car. Very weird, obviously, to not see him in a Ferrari or a Williams car, and it's sort of odd because now in the, well, last season in the Williams, he pretty much found himself fighting for around P13 overall there. Around the outside of him, though, in towards T1 there, and now you can see the rain is starting to fall in this Brazilian Grand Prix. There are once again changeable conditions in this championship there. Obviously, we saw a very, very wet race at Spa a couple of races back out there. So obviously, sorry, not at Spa, at Italy even, a couple of weekends back out there. So obviously hoping that we don't end up with such treacherous conditions like that. But obviously the dry tyres can really sort of withstand very, very wet conditions in this mod. Even, you know, the dry tyres on the F105 cars, you know, well, the tyres were ultra durable anyway, which meant they really did fare quite well there. One lap later, they're making light work of Nick Heidfeld, that are now up into P12 of the Grand Prix. But all the AI was still trying to stay out at this stage of the day there, so I'm not really too sure how far the AI are willing to go and in this Grand Prix there. But now we're all over the back of Jacques Villeneuve here on the long run towards T1 there. I think a couple of drivers now, yes, are starting to pit in this Grand Prix. We've got Trulli, Schumacher, Alonso there, all diving into the pit lane there as we now go for a little bit of a lunge on Jacques Villeneuve there. He just about spots me round the outside through T1 there, and now we relegate the Canadian, down into P8 of this Grand Prix. The 1997 Formula 1 World Champion as well there. And now on to lap 9 of the Grand Prix, the halfway stage of this race, and Jenson Button now leads the way there as pretty much everyone else now, apart from him and Jacques Villeneuve, now have all dived into the pit lane there, which is really ideal for me. And it has proved so far that this race strategy has worked out for myself there. I almost forgot about the race strategy that we were trying to pull in this race there. And yeah, we are now up in the net lead, obviously, of this Grand Prix there. And this is fantastic for myself here. On the end of lap 10, though, Button finally decides to dive into the pit lane. They're going very long on that first stint in this Grand Prix. And now it's just a case for me of trying to hold on to this race victory there. Giancarlo Fisichella is 7 seconds back from myself there at this stage of the Grand Prix. But not going to lie, the AI were much quicker than me at this stage of the Grand Prix there. 1 lap later, and well, Fisichella had taken 1.5 seconds out of me on that last lap there. So yeah, it was certainly, it was going to get tight towards the end of this Grand Prix, and we really were just trying to wrestle this car on the circuit. 1 lap after that, and well, Giancarlo had taken another second out of me. Now the gap down to 4.5 seconds at this stage of the Grand Prix here. So well, it was really starting to come good for Toyota here. Could they finally challenge once again for a race victory there? Fernando's still able to take home a race victory there, but Giancarlo takes another 0.6 out of me on that lap. So we've got 5 laps to go of this Grand Prix. It was starting to look very close, and I was trying to do the maths in my head. Was Fisichella going to be able to get close enough now? And with just 2 laps to go, the gap now was below 2 seconds in this Grand Prix there. So it was certainly looking like the Toyota was going to be, the Renault even, was going to be able to mount a challenge to myself in this Grand Prix there. But we do need to try and hold on. We desperately need this race victory there. These points could be absolutely crucial there. With Kimi Räikkönen down in P3 of this race there, we could try and up my championship lead there. But now, onto the final lap of this Grand Prix. Giancarlo Fisichella is all over the back of me here. The gap now is less than a second. But yellow flags are out ahead of me. The gap 0.4 of a second here. But we've got Takuma Sato in the Honda with a puncture here. We're going to be able to get past him there, now comfortably up there. And well, unfortunately for Giancarlo Fisichella, because he's all over the back of me at this stage of the Grand Prix there, and well, runs straight into the back of the Honda driver there. So his golden opportunity for a race victory there completely wasted for himself there. And well, that basically gave us a bit of an anticlimax towards the end of that Grand Prix there in the end. As we come through the final couple of corners of this Grand Prix there, it was really, I was getting properly nervous that, you know, Giancarlo Fisichella was going to be able to make that move work, you know. Out of, say, this corner, you know, he was gaining a good few tenths out of Jung Sao up towards the line there. But fortunately for me, once again, we have been absolutely gifted in this championship. I really do question how many times it's going to happen. It's going to be a win at the Brazilian Grand Prix. I think our 4th win or our 3rd win in 4 races. It's been a fantastic little streak we've had in this championship. I think my 6th win overall this season there. We are certainly very happy with that result there. Giancarlo, I think, was able to come through for P2 at the end of that Grand Prix there, none the lesser. Well, it's another win for myself and the Red Bull team, and yeah, it's been working absolutely fantastically over these last few rounds there, and obviously hoping with just 2 rounds to go of this season that we can continue to try and hold on to this championship lead here. We've got 2 rounds to go, Japan and China, to finish off the season, and a 5-point lead as we go in towards those final couple of rounds. So, well, the Drivers' Championship could be settled next time out at the Japanese Grand Prix. You certainly do not want to miss out on that race. Obviously, if you're new around here and you have enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, as well as click the bell icon, because, well, this is going to get tasty in towards the final couple of rounds. And, well, YouTube is now broken, pretty much technically. So, obviously, if you want to make sure you don't miss out on those uploads, I would highly, highly recommend clicking that bell icon there. But yeah, we were able to take home the race victory. Giancarlo Fisichella taking him a well-earned P2 in that Grand Prix, with McLaren's 3rd and 4th there, Fernando Alonso in P5. But yeah, we now have a 5-point lead over Kimi Räikkönen going in towards the final couple of rounds of the season. So for him to remain in the title fight, he needs a top 4 finish, and obviously we do need to win. But obviously the ball now is completely in Kimi Räikkönen's court there. Joan Pablo Montoya is still just within a narrow shot of the championship victory there. But yeah, it's now between myself and the McLarens. The only 3 drivers to win races are now the only 3 within a shot of the Drivers' Championship there. Fernando Alonso now mathematically cannot win it. Rubens Barrichello as well drops out as well. Giancarlo Fisichella there, and Michael Schumacher has obviously been out over these last couple of rounds there. But in the constructor standings though, McLaren have actually been able to wrap it up here at the Brazilian Grand Prix with that 3rd and 4th place in that race there. I think they actually did lose out a couple of points to Renault in that race there. But yeah, it was just a case of there just wasn't enough time for them to be able to get it there. So a 37-point lead, only 36 points on offer in the final 2 rounds. That means that they are now Constructors' Champions. The Constructors' Champions there since the first time since 2000. 1999, if I'm not mistaken there. Renault and, well, Ferrari are now just 5 points clear of myself, so we've certainly got a good chance of jumping those guys. But hopefully, you know, you guys have gone on to enjoy this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. And as I said, make sure you click the bell icon. You do not want to miss the final couple of rounds of this championship. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for the Japanese Grand Prix.